Welcome to this Discernment mini course. And my goal for this course for you, if you choose to go with it, is for you to get a better sense of how you can make useful choices in your life, empowered choices of what is right for you and what is not right for you. So discernment, as I see it, is knowing what's right for you. And this is coming from within rather than from the external stimuli, but we'll get a little bit more into that. And the reason it's important, when I first was coming into the spiritual world, it's 8 or 9 years ago now, it was an exciting time. And also there was so much differing opinions in what was coming in. I would meet people at a crystal shop that said I would be the perfect person to be on Ashtar command with them, and that they were going to get beamed up, and that they had done an evacuation where Lemurians or some other race inherited went into their body so they could evacuate people from Lemuria, and all of the earth was going to be destroyed, but if I was part of Ashtar command, then I'd be okay. Now, what is that valid or is that not valid? I didn't really know. I was new, but I felt kind of fearful. And as I was taking in the people, I thought, I don't know if these are, the right people for me. And my first teacher, she was very useful. She said, even some of the things I say, you're probably not going to resonate with, and that's totally fine. And so she had great content that was very useful for me. And then she had things that she didn't believe in that, I'm more open to. She had certain opinions related to forms of energy healing. She had certain opinions on non-bodied entities. A lot of those I do agree with in terms of channel material and things like that. And then she has a whole way of understanding the chakra system, some of which I agree with, some of which I've seen in other schools teach it different ways. And what I've come to realize is there's certain things that are very important to have like a firm grasp of and say, I'm definitely not going to do that. I am going to do that. And then there's a lot of things that I hold as possibility where I say, okay, that might be true, that might not be true. It doesn't actually have a big payoff one way or the other for me. So my life doesn't really change based on whether I believe this or that. So I'll just kind of go with it until a better discernment needs to be addressed. So oftentimes discernment is being held up in the air for me. And then I had all kinds of healers coming at me. And many healers I'll give a chance. I'll do a quick read, and I'll maybe give them a chance to offer me a healing based on what it is. But some of them can be pretty persistent, and they can say, I see who you can be, and I'm the one who can help you, and others can't, and if you don't do this now, your whole life is going to unravel in a certain way. And again, this is more the fear-based thing, but how do you know that, especially when you're new to the world or new to the spiritual world? So I thought to offer this program would be useful, to make it free. And my essence is going to be within it because I'm the one teaching it. I try to keep it as clean as possible. And of course, the different events, the different people that I bring on, there's parts of them that I might agree with fully or think that what they share is great for teaching purposes. And there's going to be areas I disagree. And I do hope that the audience that you can use your own discernment to decide who's right for you. And if it's not me, you're probably going to go somewhere else, totally fine. And also, you don't need to fully buy into every single thing a person says to be able to extract value. So oftentimes when I have somebody share, it doesn't always mean I agree with every single thing they say and that somebody should seek them out for healing or for whatever it might be. But I do think that there's something of value that they can bring to the community and share a perspective on something. So I would never bring somebody in who I believe is truly evil incarnate. But again, I'm fallible. People change, so perhaps when I met them, they were of great whatever, and then they descend it, and perhaps maybe I just made a misread, right? Or maybe I made a good read, but for you, it's the wrong person. So it's really helpful. Just have your own discernment, have your own awareness of what's right, and this can be a very empowering thing. This can really help you with what's next for you. So throughout this, I'm going to go through a little bit more about what discernment is. We're going to start with what discernment is not. In brief, discernment is not certificates. It's not social proof. It is not logic. It is your inner guidance. It is your inner signals, and sometimes outer signals, but that you've kind of learned to be true for you over time. That they're unique for you. Some of these are going to be more universal. For instance, oftentimes when there's tightness, that's usually a sign of not right for you, but there might be a time where that tightness is actually a strong signal that it is the right thing for you. So, but that's what we're going to go into in this little program. And one of the most useful things that I studied at one point in time, and again, this took discernment because there was a lot of advice out there saying that this was not a good thing to study, but I found a teacher that I think very highly of. I would recommend most people, if they were interested in this modality, to go and study with her. But it was neurolinguistic programming, NLP. And the early founders of this, they were curious about how people worked. How did they form their subjective experience of reality? And there's different thought patterns that certain people have while others don't. And it turns out when you understand how somebody forms reality, what their map of reality is, if you take their map and choose to adopt it, you might have a similar experience to what they're having in a certain realm of the world. So if I wanted to better understand energy healing, I would study energy healers and I say, how do you do that? And they might tell me some things that they do. They might say, well, first I kind of tune in and then I watch energy move through my hands. But then I would ask follow-up questions. Neurolinguistic programming is all about getting to the root so that anyone can kind of do it. And they have all these little recipes for different things. So what they also noticed was certain people had different patterns and styles and strategies for making decisions. And we're going to go a little bit into that with this because I have found it quite useful. For instance, my decision making might be different than the way you make decisions. Totally fine, but it's useful for you to begin to become aware of how you're making decisions, and even just beginning to bring this awareness as you're going through decision making processes. You can get more wise to it as you're remembering when you made decisions that just worked for you and when you made decisions that weren't that great. You can get more clear on those signals, those early signals. Often you're getting these inner signals, maybe even outer signals, that tell you what is a useful direction for you. And I'll go into a few examples of what I've noticed in my own life. Now, all of this is the idea that I consider discernment most important for choice making. So do you choose to listen and take in the guidance somebody's sharing? Somebody says, this is the way the world works. Do you buy that way the world works? Do you buy that person's opinion about it? Well, if you're getting a good read on them, if you're getting a good hit, a good energetic sense that they are the right person to be sharing and what they're saying does resonate for you, well then sure, yeah, that's great. You're discerning they're a useful person and you're choosing to take some of that information in with you. Every time you go to a restaurant, you're discerning what on the menu calls out to you the most. And again, somebody at a steakhouse might say, well, I'm at a steakhouse, so logically I need to order steak. And yet the chicken is the thing that's calling out to you on the menu, or maybe it's a salad, or maybe it's whatever. So if you're not choosing the thing on the menu that is calling out to you, it's not the biggest deal in the world for the most part, but it is you turning away from that inner discernment that's telling you which direction to go. So it's kind of fun too. We can take these tiny little decisions that don't have that painful of a payoff or a risk associated with them. So we can begin to understand how we map things in case there are bigger decisions. So that's what we're going to study. We're going to go into in a little bit, and I hope it's helpful for you.